I signed my apartment over to my son, thinking blood relations meant something. Figured he was family, my own flesh and blood. Surely he wouldn't hurt his old man. 12 months later, he asked me to pack up and leave. I was 73 years old, with nowhere to go. I'm sharing my story so you don't make the same devastating mistake I did. Friends, write in the comments where you're watching us from. And hit like if you want to know what's most surprising and unexpected. His argument sounded reasonable enough. Why do you need so much space living alone? He promised we'd live together as one big, happy family unit. Seemed logical at the time. Family nearby, grandkids running around, help with daily tasks. We went to the notary, signed all the paperwork, made it official. The first year felt like a fairy tale. Everyone under one roof helping each other. The conflict started small but grew bigger every single week. Soon they were saying I was interfering with their life, cramping their style. Their suggestion was simple. Move in with your daughter or find a nursing home. That's when reality hit me like a freight train going full speed. Once you transfer ownership, you become a guest in your own former home. The new owner can legally evict you through court proceedings if they choose. This becomes especially easy if you don't have official residency registration there. After signing, that's it. No legal way to reverse or take back your property. What I should have done was arrange a life estate or residency agreement. These contracts legally protect your right to live there until you die. I ended up staying with my daughter, who welcomed me with open arms. Not everyone gets lucky like that. Some elderly folks have nowhere to go. The psychological damage cuts deeper than any financial loss could. I carried this kid in my arms, taught him to walk, paid for his education. How do you process that level of betrayal from someone you raised? I worked with a therapist to understand that my worth isn't tied to property. The relationship with my son never fully recovered from this devastating breach of trust. We talk occasionally now, exchange pleasantries, but the damage was done. Some things in life cannot be fixed or undone, only accepted and processed. The first piece of advice: never rush into transferring your property ownership. While you're alive and healthy, that property represents your security and independence. With a will, you remain the legal owner until your natural death. And here's where things get really messy from a legal standpoint, folks. The moment those papers are signed, the moment that ink dries on the deed transfer, your son becomes the legal owner, and you're essentially a guest in what used to be your own home. Now, can they just kick you out immediately? Not exactly, but it's way easier than you'd think. If there's another property in your name, even a tiny summer cottage, boom, the court can say you have somewhere else to go. If you're not officially registered at that address anymore, your legal standing gets even shakier. Here's what I should have done, and what you need to know before you even think about signing anything. A lifetime annuity agreement. That's your safety net, people. With this type of contract, you remain living in your home until your last breath, guaranteed by law. Or a donation agreement with lifetime residence rights, another shield against being thrown out. But I didn't know any of this. The notary just processed the paperwork like a machine. That's why I'm telling you now. Don't let my nightmare become your reality. So there I was, 73 years old, packing my life into cardboard boxes. My daughter took me in, bless her heart. But not everyone has that option. You know what the hardest part was? It wasn't losing the apartment. It was losing faith in the person I'd raised, loved, and sacrificed everything for. I remembered teaching him to ride a bike, holding him when he had nightmares. The betrayal cut deeper than any physical pain I'd ever experienced. I went to therapy. Yes, at 73, I started seeing a psychologist. That my dignity didn't depend on where I slept at night. But rebuilding your sense of self at that age? It's like learning to walk again after a stroke. My relationship with my son, well, it's complicated now. We talk, we see each other on holidays. But there's this invisible wall between us. His wife? She acts like nothing happened. Like displacing an elderly man is just normal Tuesday behavior. And maybe that's the scariest part. How easily people can justify cruelty when it benefits them. Now, let me give you the practical advice that could save you from this heartbreak. When your child says, "Don't you trust me?" That's manipulation, not a valid argument. Trust doesn't require you to sign away your security blanket. Real love wouldn't ask for it. If you want to help your kids with housing, consider a will instead of a gift deed. With a will, you stay the owner until your natural death. You keep control. If you absolutely must transfer property while alive, get 3 opinions: a lawyer, another lawyer, and a third lawyer. Ask specifically about annuity contracts and lifetime residence agreements. These aren't just fancy legal terms. They're your insurance policy against homelessness. And here's something nobody talks about. Test your children's character in smaller ways first. Those reactions will predict exactly how they'll behave when they hold all the cards. Don't ignore red flags because you desperately want to believe in unconditional family love. I learned this lesson at 73, but you can learn it right now, whatever your age. Your home isn't just 4 walls and a roof. It's your dignity, your independence, your peace of mind. Once you sign those papers, you're gambling all of that on another person's goodwill, even if that person gave you the most beautiful Mother's Day cards for 30 years. Even if they still call you every Sunday and remember your birthday. People change. Circumstances change. Spouses influence decisions. Financial pressure corrupts. And when they do change, you want to have options, not just hopes and prayers. Most children are decent people who'd never dream of displacing their parents. But most isn't good enough when we're talking about your basic shelter and security. You plan for fires even though your house probably won't burn down. You buy insurance even though you probably won't get into an accident. This is the same principle. Prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. Because if the worst does happen, and you've protected yourself legally, you can weather the storm. But if you've left yourself vulnerable, trusting in promises and good intentions, well, you might end up sitting where I sat, feeling like a fool for believing blood was thicker than water. The truth is, water finds its level. But blood can run cold faster than you'd ever imagine. So please, learn from my pain. Let my mistake be your education. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to age with dignity in your own space. And no one, not even your beloved child, should have the power to take that away from you. Take care of yourselves, folks. Your future self will thank you for the precautions you take today.